Ooh, that was a good one. Bugs! Wow, good echo. Never lose sight of the Card Shop LGS $10 plastic chair. I don't care if you've got a private jet in every color. Your hair is just amazing as it falls out, as you run so fast, you're like the Flash. Never lose sight of the chair that brought you here. Folks, sit back, relax. Today, we've got a follow-up video. If you haven't heard, the Gamepiece Army is really unhappy. Like, they discovered speed bumps. Like, they're not happy, okay? So if you haven't heard, are we boycotting Hasbro? No. Banning, which is no. Scalping? Ripping off. We need to, what word sounds the worst? What sounds more aggressive? So the Gamepiece Army is freaking out. So in the last 60 days, we've continued to tell you all on this channel, as Hasbro pivots, so Dr. Cox can keep his job at Hasbro, we are going to see just continued behavior changes in the world of Magic. And I guess, you know, to defend the public and you all out there and the Timmies that are like, "Rawr!" To defend you all, I can't blame the public for being this doubtful and frustrated, because we went through 2 years of a bear market and things falling apart and crashing. In Hasbro, in Mark Rosewater, and saying, you know, no more this, and we're not going to reprint that. Like, they said all these things, and all of a sudden, we're seeing real change. Like, we finally are seeing these changes happening, and it's a weird thing to accept. I mean, it is, because if you haven't heard, they released the secret lair, the kitty cats, and the meow meows, and the rough dogs. They warned everybody that they're going to change to a more strict, limited printing, difficult, not evergreen secret lairs. They told everybody they were going to do this. And then they release it. What, 6 hours later? 6 hours later, it sells out. And then, and within 24 hours, Wizards and ScaleFast actually start shipping people's orders immediately. So waiting 8 months, waiting 5 years, waiting until you graduate college, waiting until you get saddled with so many student loans and you're in so much debt that you never recover and your life just goes straight down to Taco Bell. I mean, they did what they said. They increased ship times. The best ship time I've ever seen was ScaleFast. Congratulations. And now everybody is so angry. It's boycott Wizards. This is scalper's paradise. We all need to ban. We need to blacklist Wizards. Like, you know, that's how I know things are in a better direction. When we see this kind of frustration from the people who want their game pieces to be 25 cents, maybe 18 cents, maybe 28 cents a card, you know, when we start to see this kind of frustration, I missed out. I couldn't get it. I was at work. My boss said I had to work overtime in the Wendy's dumpster. People told me, like, and you're seeing the anger. This is absurd. We are never buying Magic again until they restock the secret lair and allow us to buy it again. I was like, excuse me, Timmy's? I've been trying to tell you all, they are trying to make Magic collectible again. And we are going to continue to see new behavior in different choices. Look at what's happening with the collector boxes. Every single scholar on the internet said Ravnica Collector has no value, it's garbage, and it will collapse and be the greatest collapse since, I don't know, Baldur's Gate 4? Commander Masters? Wait, that's recovered too? To whatever is bad, whatever makes you the most angriest, visualize that. And it didn't happen. And this is how market momentum changes. Everybody expects a certain outcome, and the market's fucking wrong. And now everybody's just like, what do you have it? What do you have? Like, who bought them all? You know what the problem was? A couple billionaires flew in on their private jets, came down from helicopters, literally tried to decide what color their Bugatti was. And then they literally placed 4,000 orders on the ScaleFast website, and they bought all the kitty cats. And now we are getting scalped. And, you know, I see all this stuff, and we have a changing tide, folks. So now let's lay out the framework here. So moving forward, what do we have coming up next, okay? We've got, in the card world, let me explain where we're at. Disney Lorcana, prices are finally, what are they, 150? Back to MSRP range? What is it? I mean, it's where it should be. Nothing wrong with that. One Piece is still, be careful. Some of these One Piece prices are getting so crazy. I know you all love One Piece, but I've ran 2 patron sales on One Piece, sells out in 20 seconds, but just people are so emotional with it. It makes me nervous, that's all. It's been hugely successful, like the most profitable thing for any LGS in the United States, but just be careful because boxes that come out and they're supposed to be $100, $150 and they're $500 and $300, $400, I mean, that's just so extreme. And I don't know how this is gonna last. I don't know how it's gonna change. Next, keep in mind, we're about 2 weeks from the new Magic release? So this is the second release in 2024 as we go into February. And for the old murders of Dr. Carlo inside the manor. Who murdered somebody? Nobody knows, nobody cares. Wait, there's a real storyline? It's not just Clue and give us money? Huh. And again, looking at the supply and looking what's going on with this stuff. First of all, the demand for play boosters seems suspiciously high, which I didn't see coming. Number 2, the collector boxes, it appears we have an uptick in demand, which again, I didn't think anybody wanted them and they're supposed to collapse. Rudy, I'm not buying till the Amazon dump. I wonder how long it's going to take to shake that kind of vibe. It'll be interesting. And then, of course, after that, we have this mega Fallout situation with Fallout Commander decks and collector boxes. And that's going to be really interesting to see how the market's going to handle that. Because so far, Universes Beyond has been mind-boggling successful. Even though I'm still not the biggest fan of it, I have to acknowledge Hasbro and Wizards has been incredibly successful with Universes Beyond. Do we even have a Universes Beyond that's collapsed? I don't think there's a single Universes Beyond that hasn't worked. Warhammer 40K, Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who, Lord of the Rings Special. Wasn't there one more? And now it's been successful. It's awkward to say, but it's been successful. It's the same thing with the Secret Lair situation. Everybody's so negative for years, including me. New Secret Lair alert! But now with this, I'm telling you, I think what's going to happen is Secret Lairs are going to go through these weird cycles where, like at the beginning, everybody wanted Secret Lair. I even bought them. I bought them from other customers and people and stores and everything. And a lot of them did really well. And then there were so many of them, the market started to fall apart and erode and everybody started to back away. And now as we start to change again, it looks like that cycle is starting to lean back into more positive. So it's interesting to see how much time it takes for people to shift their attitude towards a product line. So, and again, so let me lay out the schedule for you all. This is my prediction. I just want to tell you all what I think is going to happen. With all these CCGs right now coming to market, the new releases coming to market, not new games. I think Ravnica collector boxes hit all-time high, and they break the 350 to 400. And I think people, not 350, 250 to 4. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Ravnica collectors are 260s already. I think Ravnica collectors break 300 a collector box. That's my hot take. I think Lord of the Rings special boxes actually break 350 to 400. That's my other hot take. I think Ixalan holds steady around 250 a collector box. Again, another phenomenal success. And I even think Wilds of Eldraine holds steady between 2 and 250 collector box as the product ages and becomes out of favor. I think they'll all do very well. I think the Pokemon situation is very interesting. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I still think Pokemon is the sleeping giant that's going to awaken anytime soon. And I do think we're going to have print run adjustments. And I think people are going to get, I think a lot of people will miss out. Obviously, Sword and Shield era Pokemon continues to hit all-time highs, and people continue to sell into the strength and miss out and get angry. Flesh and Blood has the new heavy hitter set coming up here. I think it's going to be a lot better than people were expecting coming off the bright light situation. A lot of feedback that I got is a lot of people just were frustrated and were not as happy with bright lights because of the narrowness of the support for heroes and everything, which I didn't think that was really a big deal, but some people got all dramatic about the type of set it was. Give it time. I want to see what it's been a weak one, but we'll see what happens. But the heavy hitters, everybody keeps being, like I told you guys in the other video, I'll report back to you guys. So we're doing 1,000 bundles with an exclusive promo, with bricks, a whole case of boosters. We're doing all that stuff. Come up here in a couple of days. I'll report to you all because a lot of people keep messaging me, Rudy, why are you doing 1,000 bundles of Flesh and Blood? Didn't you see the TCG Player thing? Aren't you like the other stores? And you're all, don't do it because now they're just dumping on TCG Player. The TCG Player thing is a weird thing because we're seeing, Magic just partnered with everyone's favorite seller on TCG Player. Distributor? Seller. Seller under a fake name? Which one is it? Is it the distributor or the fake? So TCG Player is partnering they did a special Magic partnership sale on the front page where the seller doesn't have to pay fees and all that crap. And then, before that, we had the Flesh and Blood special bundle with TCG Player. And then before that, we had the MetaZoo collapse with the Hello Kitty, but then they fire sold and dumped it. So we're seeing these companies, there must be some new division or partnership or someone reaching out and trying to work with these companies to give them front page exposure, to make money, to offer these bundles on the front of TCG Player. There's definitely there's something going on with that as a new dimension of trying to make either revenue or promote games and give them there's some new partnership style that these companies are trying, because out of nowhere, every CCG is doing these partnerships with the front page of TCG Player. And so far, the Magic one seems to have gone fine. They haven't sold out. The Flesh and Blood one, I think they sold 40% of the 1,500 or 1,000 bundles, but they didn't dump the product in clearance and fire sell it like they did with Hello Kitty, so that was a big win. Obviously, the Hello Kitty one, when they did the fire sale, it collapsed the whole market, and that's where it is still. Although, don't get too excited, but we are seeing upticks in Hello Kitty for MetaZoo. I don't know if it's because there's not much out there, but we saw the Hello Kitty thing come out and completely collapse in TCG Player dump. I think it hit a low of like $40, $45 a box. And as of the filming of this video, I had other people message me telling me to check on it, and I haven't checked it. And it looks like it's back to almost $70 a box on the Hello Kitty. So there seems to be a substantial recovery in the pricing, but I'm going to be very blunt about it. It's encouraging to see, but I'm very skeptical of what's going on with that. I don't know if somebody's trying to push the market up and it's the same buyer. I don't know if it's just nobody bought it. There's not many supplies, so as long as people buy a little bit, I don't know the dynamic, or people truly are buying it. We'll give us some more time to follow up on the Hello Kitty situation to see what I think it's going to take a couple months for us to see what the true price is based on what's out there. And like I said, so that's really the next thing. So we have coming up this new Magic, new Flesh and Blood. In the next month, we have a really big Weiss release, huge. If you guys haven't heard, Weiss is doing a crossover with Chainsaw Man. We just had a Weiss release with the Spy Family, and that was a monster success. Even when I sold it, I burned through like 1,000 boxes and I'm out. So if you're looking for me to sell you Weiss, go to TCG Player. No, I don't even have an affiliate link. Maybe I should have an affiliate link. That's what's going on with it. So as Weiss gets those really big IPs, they do tend to do really well. So my prediction is I think the Murders of Carlo being a standard set, first standard set of the year, I don't know if it's going to be able to match the strength of Ravnica collectors. The problem with Ravnica was everybody underestimated the Shockland and the ability of Shocklands to resist these Shocklands to like $2 meme. The demand for Shocklands just got so hot and heavy on the reprint. I could not believe the amount of buyers that came out of the woodwork to support the Shockland prices on the secondary market, and that really put a floor in and then started to really push the market in the other direction. If Shocklands aren't going to be $1 and a collector box is like 7 to 10 Shocklands, you can't have a collector box collapse when just the Shocklands are worth $100, $150, not including every other rare, every mythic, every Wafu anime style. There's just too much going on with the product, not including serialized cards. There's just too much, and that's, the market got it wrong, and we're seeing that. And as of right now, I'm very interested to see how the market's going to accept the Heavy Hitters Flesh and Blood set, because it started off very soft, very limited demand on TCG Player in the United States. And again, I still believe U.S. demand for Fab is softer, and I think demand for Fab is actually higher outside the United States, similar to like Japanese Pokemon and even some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! And so there's some brands that the data in the U.S. can be very disconnected. But I'm been getting a lot of messages after the Flesh and Blood event in New Zealand that's been saying, Rudy, did you hear about the feedback? Did you hear about the Blitz decks? And I was like, oh, what's going on with the Blitz decks? I didn't think Blitz decks was that, it's more of a casual thing for people to enjoy and learn the game and try different heroes. And apparently this Blitz deck is 6 different decks and is being touted as one of the better, if not best, brick of Blitz decks in Fab history. Now I'm skeptical, because that's a fucking ballsy tetherball statement, but I'm very curious to see how that unfolds. So again, last minute, I reached out to LSS and some of the people. I said, hey, I think we should probably add enough Blitz deck bricks to these 1,000 bundles. So 1,000 bricks to include this because of the demand and feedback of people asking me if I'm going to include a brick of Blitz decks with the exclusive promo and the actual boosters. I wasn't planning on it originally, but we did make that last minute change, and hopefully the rest of them show up anytime and we get everything rocking and rolling here for this weekend's sale coming up. I think a return to Flesh and Blood, more melee combat, hand-to-hand combat, and more of a WTR, because I had multiple people who went to the New Zealand event and they're like, Rudy, this is the first set in over a year that feels like a sequel to Welcome to Wraith. And I was like, that's a pretty ballsy statement, man, because that first block of Fab is so iconic. I have a very difficult time believing that you're going to tell me that this set feels like that. So, and then I had other patrons that did say, they're calling it, a Welcome to Wraith 2.0. And I don't know if post-release, if everyone's going to feel the same way, but I will definitely follow up with you all. But it's a very bullish sign. That is a good sign, because we all want to see a lot more stability in that. And the market's picked up sales on eBay TCG Player. Obviously, they sold about 40% of the, 1,000 or 1,500 bundles? Someone comment below. How many bundles did they do? And I don't know. And then I'm just so happy that LSS didn't pool like the other companies and do a clearance and let TCG Player dump it. So I don't know if they removed the rest of the supply or cut it off or change it, but whatever they did, well played. Thank goodness. That was a scary thing. A lot of stores were messaging me like, dude, please, Rudy, if you're talking to LSS, please tell James, tell LSS, do not let TCG Player fire sale and fuck it up. And I think they got the hint, and they definitely must have had something in place, because that didn't happen. Thank God. So, wow, sorry for the noise, everybody. We have like jets flying everywhere from the Navy base. My goodness. It's like, I think it's the Blue Angels? I think like, what is it, F-35s? Dude, it's like, I can see like 5 of them in the distance doing little formations. Maybe there's an air show. I don't know what's going on with that. Sorry for the noise and everything on that, everybody, but we have a ton of jets going by. So that's it. So final comment, yes. Coming up, I'm very curious to see what Magic does. I'm very curious on what kind of shift in everyone's attitude on the new Flesh and Blood set coming next week. And I'll reveal the promo card. And I'm trying to get a spoiler video out. I'm tough on time. I don't have it filmed yet, but I got some good ideas. I'm very curious to see with the new Weiss set with this Chainsaw Man how I'm a little scared that's going to be a blowout. And I'm very curious to see if the strength in the Magic market can continue. And now with Paldean Fates, with the new Pokemon, I'm very curious to see if the Pokemon Scarlet Violet can finally have an uptick and do better, because the Pokemon market's been so negative ever since we rolled the Scarlet Violet. I'm curious if the Pokemon can shake that trend. My instinct is buckle up, Buttercup, but we need to wait for data to come in. And yes, last but not least to the people, make sure you block out this last part, but I will give you an update on Sorcery. We have the original playmats that were lost and stolen. They were never recovered. I think one day they're going to end up on eBay with some goofball selling them. They did reprint them. They are in sea freight being shipped right now. We're hoping to get them in 45 days. So we'll finally have our reprint in the lost playmats. And I do have an original spreadsheet of the people who bought from me, minus the people that, obviously did disputes, told me to F off and told me to kill myself and I'm going to ruin your life. Besides those people, I do have the spreadsheet of everybody else who's been patient, and we're going to get those shipped out for everybody on that spreadsheet and get that finally wrapped up. So you still got about 45 days is my guess. But again, these are the basic Sorcery playmats. These don't have any special art on them or exclusive arts like the future stuff. Other news, I think Sorcery is still working on and trying to get the quality of the printing. They want it to be as best as possible. So they've been working on that. So I think we're looking at, my instinct is they told me March So I moved the last wave and the exclusive promo number 2 in the Alpha Investments Lab. We're working on that, and all that is going to be probably March. I would mentally plan like mid to late March. Let's say late March, just to give us a buffer. If it comes earlier, I'll let you guys know. We'll bump it forward by a few weeks. So that's going to be that final beta supply. I believe that's still in, I don't know if it's on sea freight or custom still. We're still waiting for that last wave that's just been taking, all this crap takes forever. It's like a slow paint drying, painful thing. So the sorcery thing will be, we're still probably a month away from that. And I'll wait for the company to give me updates on how much longer, or if it gets pulled forward or later. I will let you all know what happens with that. And I think that's it. I guess I've been so curious, what happens to the market when Magic really starts doing better, like what we've seen? Like, I'm so fascinated to see, how does Pokemon, how does One Piece, how does Lorcana, how does Flesh and Blood, and even the smaller one, like how do all the other card games do if Magic returns to a bull market? We haven't had a good Magic market in years because of the overprinting, Chris Cox, Magic 30, Mark Bottomwater still swimming around with the Titanic. Too soon, sorry. So many negative things have happened. But I always wonder in the back of my head, what is the impact going to be if reserve lists, old cards, old boxes in new Magic really continue and hit a full-blown bear or a bull market? What happens to the overall ecosystem? Do we have a return of money being sucked back to Hasbro, and is it so intense it puts pressure on Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, Lorcana, One Piece? Like, how does that dynamic work? I mean, in this new era and the cost of everything and post-inflation and the cost of living, with how high it is, I don't see people just saying, okay, I'm going to increase spending to Magic and I'm going to keep spending the most I can with all the other card games. Like, I feel like that's not possible. I feel like the flow of that single finite amount of money will get pulled to a different direction. And if that happens, what is the impact? What do we see happen to singles and sealed in these other card games? And I haven't seen that. Like, I can't recall, maybe 2019, but Flesh and Blood was brand new. Pokemon was in early Sword and Shield or late XY, or no, late Sun and Moon, right? I can't remember. Early Sword and Shield, maybe late Sun and Moon. So it's so weird. I've been so fascinated to see what happens. I mean, look at Sorcery right now. Just in the last few weeks, the slowdown in demand of Sorcery beta has been really fascinating because everybody kept saying, oh, Rudy, Sorcery beta boxes. Man, I bought your bundle from you at the Rudy ripoff price, and I already flipped this. I sold your single promo. I sold the boxes. I doubled my money. I turned my 600 into 1,000, and dude, free tendies. So I was like, I mean, that's great, but other pages like, hey, Rudy, have you noticed that Sorcery boxes peaked? They've retraced back down 10-20%, and the sell-through rate on Sorcery beta is leveled out. It's not hitting new records anymore. And I say, oh, that's interesting. I haven't followed it, but thanks for the information. And well, Rudy, what do you think of that? Is Sorcery, is the hype over? I was like, look, folks, did you just think Sorcery beta boxes were going to go to 1,000 and an alpha box was going to be 10,000? Like, what, this is 2024. There is no to the moon thing. High inflation, high interest rates, tough economy, limited spend rate on customers everywhere. Those days are over with. It's just not going to happen. But when it does, One Piece or a Sorcery Alpha, I mean, that's great. People make money. But you can't rely on that. And that is, that's part of the cycle in these markets. It's not sustainable. Things return to normal. And again, like I told you guys in other videos, you must be very careful listening to the internet, social media, porn site known as X and Tweets and Twits, Twitter, whatever it is, and the MySpace and Facebook and Discords, because these individuals will give you false data points. They will make you think, oh my God, they're all saying, I can't get your product, Rudy. We have to reprint everything. I've told you all before, you must be so careful taking that feedback and thinking, oh shit, I better reprint, another 250,000 to 1 million boxes. I better just do 1 million boxes of beta Sorcery. I got to reprint it all. Because all you see is, well, the demand's there. Distributors probably begging them. People online are saying this game, Sorcery's dead. You can't get the boxes, right? You must be careful because now in the last 30 days, there's no beta Sorcery reprint, at least not that I'm aware of. There's nothing, they're not the machine's not printing bazillions of boxes. And suddenly we're seeing Sorcery beta boxes retrace 20% off the highs. Leveling, going from like a high of 200 something back down to 210 to 200, 190, 180, 170. And then you see the sell-through rate. It's like, whoa, what happened to the sell-through rate? Why is it slowing? This is what I talk about. You have these lag times. And if you make decisions based on that emotion happening at those peak moments of, oh, we can't get the boxes, oh God, print to oblivion. I told you all, you'll pay the price. And I don't believe there's a huge Sorcery, they're not reprinting millions of boxes. I don't think that's happening. Again, you can contact the company. They won't give me that information, but I would assume it's not. Because again, the Gamepiece mentality is very fucking dangerous. So when I look at all this, and that's why, again, I was so confident going to 2024, looking at Magic and Pokemon. You be careful with One Piece and Lorcana. I know, Rudy sells One Piece every once in a while. I don't sell Lorcana, but even then, even when I sell One Piece, even if I just take TCG Player, take 5 boxes, even if I take $100 off, be careful because you cannot predict that. You could buy a Rudy bundle and you could double your money. You could triple your money. You could buy a Rudy bundle. You could lose half your money. And you're either going to love me or hate me based on what the market's going to do, just like all the LGSs that get the love and hate based on market swings. LGSs went 2 years of people hating them. And people, dude, I had this one LGS. I'm going to tell you the story and I'm going to cut it off. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be about Secret Lair and the Kitty Cats and the Gamepiece Army. But dude, I've been rambling for so long. I'm sorry. I've been working all day here at this location and I'm tired and I'm just sitting down and it feels good to relax. But anyways, I had this LGS telling me how they had this customer 6 months ago who had bought, was it Commander Masters? No, maybe it was Wildsville Drain. I don't remember. No, wait a minute. Hey, they bought a Magic sealed, a case of like draft boxes and a case of collector boxes from something 6 to 9 months ago. And they're like, hey, Rudy, I've been watching your channel. Can you give me a feedback and like, what would you do with this situation? And they're like, this customer's been coming in for years. They always order new Magic. And they were so angry, they literally brought the sealed product back to me because they bought it. And in 2 weeks after release, the product dropped 20, 30%, because that was what was happening. Every product was doing that. And they literally made a scene in the store. They dropped the heavy case on my counter. And they, even when the customer's playing and sitting at tables, and they just said, if you knew this was going to collapse, why would you sell it to me? I want my money back. I'm down $2,000 in 2 weeks. I just picked it up. And they were just tearing into some employee. The employee called the owner. The owner eventually was like, bro, just ban them from the store. Tell them, unfortunately, we can't work with you moving forward. Give them a refund. It was still sealed. They didn't open it and take the good cards out. And that ended up what happening. And, unfortunately, that employee was all stressed out. And hopefully, they weren't upset and crying or anything. Because, dude, they probably tore into this employee. And, and the owner said, hey, we just got to get rid of that customer. Anyways, the customer came back months later, okay? When I think Ixalan, a couple months, when Ixalan came out, they said, hey man, this looks like a really good set. The Mana Crypt, the variants, it's not overpriced. The collector boxes are normal standard set collector box pricing. It's not inflated like a Baldur's Gate or Lord of the Rings. And they wanted like a master case of 24 collector boxes. And the employee called the owner because the owner was at nighttime. And the owner said, no, that's the person that freaked out on us when we gave a refund. And they refused business with this customer at the LGS. And the customer got so angry, made a scene, stormed out, knocked over a display, make a scene. Everybody look at me, I'm gonna damage, destroy, and I'm gonna give a 1-star review, and we gotta boycott this LGS, scalpers, and all that stuff. The internet loves that. They feed on that rage. And I read this message and I felt so bad, dude. I was picturing this employee, probably a college or a high school student, just working there as a side job, trying to go to school and everything, just getting torn apart by this customer. And, my response to that email was like a couple sentences saying, hey, the best piece of advice is you got to do the best you can to not let that bother you. We've talked about this on this channel. Some people, you have to let them hate you and you have to not do business with them. And you have to move forward in life. You will not make everyone happy. I kind of gave my little Rudy speech on there. And they really appreciated it, and they shared it with the employee and everything, and thankfully the employee didn't quit or anything. But I just want to share the story because I don't want to say normal behavior because it's bad behavior, but that's normal behavior in bad markets. Tough markets bring out that anger because it's emotional, and nobody likes to lose money. Which, to end the video, reminds me that's why I'm so against the Gamepiece mentality. If you want to have regular cards cheap, that's fine. But making so many variants and reprinting so many chase cards over and over is such a bad business. That's why I'm so bullish on everything in CCGs right now moving forward, because I firmly believe we are going to see substantial change. And I'm going to tell you all right now, buckle up, Buttercup, because I'm pretty adamant that Magic, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, One Piece already has. I think all these things are going to have tight print runs. And I think we're going to see some price spikes and the market's going to throw a temper tantrum. And I think we could see it with a future Flesh and Blood set. I think we can see it with a future Magic set. I even think I know, hot take, I even think we're going to have some Pokemon sets. They're going to come out and they're going to go right up. These not $90, $100, $110 Pokemon, I think we're going to have sets and the market's going to freak the F out. So that's my story. Key takeaway, as other YouTubers will say on the internet, just be nice to people. Even if you don't like someone and you think they took your wife's boyfriend, even if they're there when you're at work fixing your washing machine, be nice to people. I'm telling you all right now, putting out just good content on YouTube, learning, having good conversations without the emotion, and talking about the goods and the bads in the market is so imperative. And I think it's important for everybody, including myself. I'm not fucking perfect. I fucked a lot of shit up in my life. Let me tell you all that. It's important for all of us to move forward, because the only reason you watch this channel is the only reason I make these videos. To scam you and take your money. Ah! No, I'm kidding. Or am I? Is because we all care about cards. We enjoy it. We want to have a fun, fulfilling, enjoyable experience in the card world. And we all take it very emotionally. When things fall apart, we all get angry and frustrated. But it doesn't help anybody. Because changes and evolution always do come, but it takes time. And the bigger the company, Hasbro, the slower the Goliath can pivot, So that's it. That's my speech. Hope you all learned something today. Conclusion of this whole long rant. Pokemon, Flesh and Blood with not price cuts. Supply cuts looking decent. Magic is looking very bullish still. I continue the Rudy shill bullish stuff. And no, not old stuff. I'm shilling and I'm bullish for the new stuff. I'm maintaining a pallet position of all new product to sit on. I'm selling to patrons and you all and discussing it. I'm keeping heavy bags for myself. I'm really bullish on things right now. I like the direction of 2024. I like the vibe of everything. It feels good. It feels better than the 2-year garbage market we went through. So that's my conclusion. I think that we are going to see major changes, and the Gamepiece army on the internet is going to continue to be very frustrated. And the more frustrated and angry I see the Gamepiece army towards Secret Lair, towards collector boxes, wait till you all see the prices of Fallout collectors after release. Wait till you all see that shit. And the Commander of Fallout Collector and Commander, wait till you see allocations and what's coming with that shit. You ain't seen nothing, baby. And I think we're going to continue to see the outrage of the idiots who are still frustrated because, their toilet's broken, Taco Tuesday. I think as that voice gets more and more angry, that's a more and more bullish sign that we're returning to collectability. And I think that's something we should all be happy about into the card world. I think we're all going to win. I think everyone's going to be happy. I think normal people who are not stupid, I think card prices are going to stabilize. I think quantity of reprints from Hasbro slows down some. I think we're going to see some reinflation and recalibration. And I think the entire ecosystem is going to win, from the customers to the evil Rudies in a basement with 3 tether balls, to the stores, to the distributors. I think overall, everything's going to improve as we see the anger online continue to flow. I think it's a bullish sign. I like where we're going, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Where are we at? We got the gorgeous Legend Story Studios from James. The beautiful number 69 out of 100 Prism. I just finished. I wanted to show it today because I just got my display case. I just built it. And I got the display case to keep all the dust and dirt off of her. She looks absolutely stunning. We have that thing because I want to, I don't know if you can dust those real safely. We've got King Louis in the background from the 1700s over here. We got some gorgeous castle paintings from the 1800s and 19th century, from the 1880s. Some gorgeous medieval stuff over there. We have the Rudy beautiful women over here holding our lights for the nice warm room over here. And we have some meetings and boardrooms and kind of some conversations and things at this location. I don't really film here much. And of course, last but not least, every time I build a Lego set with my 8-year-old son, we have like this father-son thing. We build really cool Lego sets together. And when we finish them, we put them on display. So we build like the Santa holidays, we got the haunted house for Halloween, and we're gonna do some cool castles. So every time my son and I, we build a really cool Lego set together, we like to display it, and it makes us all happy, and he's very proud of it, and he likes it, anyone who comes here, he likes to show them all the secret things, and it makes everybody happy, Family, and again, to end the video for the 15th time, you must have good people around you. Don't forget what's important in this world. We all get older by the day. Life is very short. You gotta have good people around you that help you go in a good direction. Even in tough times, it's important to have people who truly care about you. Even if you're having fights and unhappy, but you gotta have good people around you. As always, have a great day, everybody. As always, we end the videos on the best part of the video, Rudy's penis.